All-Star. Now, Mark, that is not exactly puppy check.
We'll have Matt, I think, analyze that a little bit further on. We should point out also that the West has won 3 of the last 4 over the East. We are set now for the introduction of the lineups, and for that, we go to the public address voice here at the Alamo Dome, Stan Kelly.
Out in Bronx, this one's for you. Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the 1996 NBA All-Stars. The participants in the 1996 NBA All-Star Game. First, the Eastern Conference, led by the coaches from the Chicago Bulls, head coach Phil Jackson. The assistant coaches are Jim Cleamons, Jimmy Rodgers, and Tex Winter. The trainer from the Indiana Pacers is David Craig. Now the players. He's one of the rare players who creates excitement from the outside, making his first All-Star appearance from the Charlotte Hornets, Glenn Rice. This point guard earned his first All-Star berth by accounting for nearly 40% of his team's total production from the Cleveland Cavaliers, Terrell Brandon. In only his 3rd NBA season, he's already a 2-time All-Star, leading his team in rebounding, assists, and minutes from the Milwaukee Bucks, Vin Baker. This hard-working big man is equally adept when asked to score, rebound, or pass. An All-Star in only his 2nd season for the Washington Bullets, Juwan Howard. He has fueled the fire in Miami, ranking in the top 10 in the NBA in scoring and block shots from the Miami Heat, Alonzo Mourning. One of the best pure shooters in the league, this 3-time All-Star specializes in last-second game-winning shots from the Indiana Pacers, Reggie Miller. Appearing in his 10th All-Star game, the 7-foot center holds nearly every Knickerbocker record from the New York Knicks, Patrick Ewing. And now the starting lineup for the Eastern Conference. At forward, he led the Foot Locker All-Star balloting with more than 1 million votes in each of his 2 seasons in the NBA. From the Detroit Pistons, Grant Hill. At the other forward, making his 6th All-Star appearance and winner of the 1994 All-Star MVP award from the Chicago Bulls, Scottie Pippen. At center, a man who led San Antonio Cole High School to a 36-0 record and Texas State Championship in 1989 from the Orlando Magic, Shaquille O'Neal. the new breed of versatile players who can beat you inside and outside. Making his second All-Star appearance from the Orlando Magic, Anthony Hardaway. And at the other guard, a three-time NBA Most Valuable Player, three times Final MVP, and seven-time NBA scoring champ from the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan. The 1996 NBA Eastern Conference All-Star. Now your Western Conference All-Star. They are led by the coaches from the Seattle Supersonics, head coach George Karl. The assistant coaches are Dwayne Casey, Terry Stotts, and Bob Wise. And from the San Antonio Spurs, the trainer, John Anderson. One of the league's premier defensive players, this exciting point guard is back for his third straight All-Star game from the Seattle Supersonics, Gary Payton. This four-time All-Star scored 22 points in 23 minutes to win the Most Valuable Player award in last year's game from the Sacramento Kings, Mitch Richmond. Back for his 8th consecutive All-Star game, this point guard is the only player to have more than 10,000 assists. The 1993 co-All-Star MVP from the Utah Jazz, John Stockton. The reigning Defensive Player of the Year, this center led the NBA in block shots for the last 2 seasons, playing in his third All-Star game from the Denver Nuggets, Dikembe Mutombo. An 8-time All-Star, the 1989 All-Star MVP, and co-winner of the 93 award from the Utah Jazz forward, Karl Malone. This 2-time All-Star is having a career year. He leads his team in three-pointers and minutes played. From your San Antonio Spurs, Shawn Elliott. The 1995 NBA Most Valuable Player and 6-time All-Star, you know him as the Admiral from the San Antonio Spurs, David And now the Western Conference starting lineup. At guard, the 1995 co-Rookie of the Year and the first Dallas player to start an NBA All-Star game. From the Mavericks, Jason Kidd. the other guard, this 9-time All-Star, won an NBA ring on his third trip to the finals last season from the Houston Rockets, Clyde Drexler. Center, this 11-time All-Star has led his team to the last 2 NBA championships, taking home the finals MVP each time from the Houston Rockets, Hakeem Olajuwon. At forward, he leads his team in points, rebounds, and blocks. Back for his 4th straight All-Star game from the Seattle Supersonics, Shawn Kemp. And at the other forward, he leads the West in the All-Star balloting. The 1991 All-Star Game MVP, playing in his 10th All-Star game from the Phoenix Suns, Charles Barkley. The 1996 NBA All-Star.
When you search for a car at Autotrader.com, we send more cars your way than anyone. A lot more cars. So you can narrow it down by model, the color, even the price. When you search from the largest selection,
that's the one.
You get the car you want at the price you want. Autotrader.com, the ultimate automotive marketplace.
Over the past half-decade, BetterBasketball.com has become the world's leader in improvement videos, bringing you 6 DVDs to build a foundation of the fundamental skills: shooting, dribbling, passing, defending, scoring from the post, and attacking from the perimeter. Now, Better Basketball brings you the most advanced DVD ever released: scoring without the ball. The video features unmatched detail on reacting to your teammates' dribble penetration, developing slasher moves, working off screens, and getting open when denied. The DVD even uses pro footage, so you'll see the techniques applied in real games from around the globe. Plus, you'll learn from Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman and Jason Kidd. If your goal is to play at the next level or just plain win, get the entire Better Basketball series, put in the sweat, and then reap the rewards. Learn more about all 7 DVDs from BetterBasketball.com or call us at 1-800-BETTER-B. If you buy 6 of the videos, the 7th is free. Order now at BetterBasketball.com.
What's up? How you doing? How was school today?
It is rude and insincere to tell a man he just dunked it. What kind of dunk was it? You got the windmill, the waffle cone, the Moroccan princess, the cranky ballet, and oh! You know, right there, that's the two-fisted, triple-pumping, intercontinental, rim-wrecking, double dunk. Call it what it is, and give that man some respect. NBA Street, home court, rated E for everybody.
Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas, the home of the Spurs, who lead the Midwest Division at 31-14, second best record in the West behind the Seattle Supersonics. The officials for this 46th NBA All-Star Game: Ed G. Rush, Ronnie Nunn, and Ed Middleton. Earlier today, Phil Jackson was telling us that he plans to surprise the West and go full court pressure at the start of this first quarter. Matt, we thought he was kidding.
Well, that may be the first time that any coach has mentioned anything at all to do with team defense before an All-Star game, at least in recent memory.
Well, the one thing it'll do, it'll produce some easy scoring opportunities for some teams, so we'll find out which one is prepared for the Phil Jackson surprise.
Well, let's see if Phil does follow through. Shaquille O'Neal and Akeem Olajuwon on the opening tip. Ronnie Nunn working his first All-Star game, put it into the air, and it's controlled by Clyde Drexler of the Houston Rockets. Here's Jason Kidd, who comes off a sensational 25-assist game the other night, and Shawn Kemp. So the West with a 2-0 lead. Penny Hardaway of the Orlando Magic being played by Kidd. Shaquille O'Neal, and he goes to the jump hook. Here comes Kidd for the West. He has Drexler with him. Drexler from Kidd.
Well, these games are generally, the tone is set by the point guards, and right away we've seen Jason Kidd create 2 baskets for the Western squad.
Scottie Pippen. Pippen on the drive. Well, we haven't seen any full court pressure here.
I think Phil meant after a free throw.
Yes. And again, the outside attempt by Shawn Kemp. The West with a 4-2 lead. We're just underway. Here's Kidd. He has Olajuwon and Drexler. Olajuwon. And Grant Hill of the Detroit Pistons pops it down to Penny Hardaway. Puts the move on Kemp.
Marv, let me ask you a question. You've been around a lot of these coaches and done a lot of all-star games. Why do they even pose that they would throw out any strategy?
You know, Phil said it with a straight face to both Matt and myself, and we bought it. And then I said, no, wait a second, you're not kidding. He said, no. The game is young, Steve. And Kemp fouled by Hill. Shawn Kemp averaging 21 a game, 12 rebounds in his 7th season with the Seattle Supersonics. Hit with that foul. The steal by Pippen. Hardaway for Jordan. Giving the East a 6-4 lead.
A very unselfish play there by Penny Hardaway. Off the feed from Scottie Pippen was wide open for a layup, but dropped it off for Jordan to get him involved.
I wouldn't have done it. The man pulled my pants down in the opening lineup. No, I wouldn't have given him the ball.
Yes, some early comical moments. Michael Jordan getting to the pants. O'Neal with the catch of the bucket. Jordan pulling Hardaway's pants awry as the player introductions were run down right at the start.
And even little Penny was embarrassed.
Last season in Phoenix, the West beat the East 139 to 112. The East has won 28. The West has won 17 in All-Star play. The East in the midst of an 8-0 run. Olajuwon not able to end it. Behind the back from Drexler.
Well, we're going to see plenty of spectacular passes amongst all these players. The question is, will they have enough feel for each other and enough timing to catch them?
Shaquille with the ball fake. It counts, and the foul. Foul committed by Olajuwon, and Shaquille O'Neal to the line.
Well, Jason Kidd always hanging around the basket at both ends to rebound. The passing so quick that the Eastern squad never saw it coming, and Barkley said, look what I found for an easy layup. They're going to have a lot of fun playing with Jason Kidd, a real-life candidate to possibly be a member of Dream Team 3.
Well, you know, this is a big opportunity for Jason Kidd to really kind of make a statement about the Dallas franchise. They've been down all year. People have really not looked at what he's done, but he's coming off some terrific ball games before the All-Star game.
Yes, a very disappointing season for the Mavericks, and there is Kidd again. You know, Jason earlier in the week was said to be a doubtful because of a lower back problem, and he told us no way he would miss this. Michael Jordan able to line drive it home. The East with a 12-8 lead with 3.5 gone by.
You know, Mark, all of these players, and Matt, you know it too, always say before the game, I'm not sure I want to go, but once they get here, they're happy they come, and it's really hard to miss an all-star game when you've got the opportunity.
Charles Barkley cuts it to a 2-point lead. East on fire here at the start, and Grant Hill continues the assault. Hill with the steal. Pippen gives it back. Here's Hill. Grant Hill.
Now you got to go to the record book. And this is going to be like they used to play basketball in the 60s in these games. 47 points were scored in 1961 in the first quarter, and we might see it happen today. You're seeing a team from the West not playing much defense, looking to score a lot of points.
And a holding foul indicated. It's on Shaquille O'Neal. A huge crowd on hand here at the Alamo Dome. 36,000. Which will not set an NBA All-Star record. The record is 44-7. Michael Jordan getting down. Back in 1989 at the Houston Astrodome, they had better than 44,000. The East up by 8 points. The East 9 of 10 from the field. They've hit their last 9. Barkley gets inside.
Nobody really challenging shots inside, and so far both teams shooting a pretty good percentage from the perimeter as well. That means a lot of high scoring, Steve.
Hill beating Kemp. That was cheesy. As the East has hit its last 10 shots.
No, they made a deal. You let me have one, and I'm going to let you have one on the other side. We'll see if Grant Hill turns the Rain Man loose.
Drexler setting up against Jordan. Elijah Watt.
And I think the game that's the hardest, and Shawn Kemp tips that in, is for the centers, because they don't get to put on a show.
Kidd again, flipping it back. And Kidd, the recipient of the pass from Barkley. But a 3-second violation has been called. Ed Rush doing it with a smile on his face. Timeout called, 6:41 left, first quarter.
Rick Campbell, NBA TV. What's up with you, man? Chris, just call to leave a message. Here's the deal. I got you on my NBA.com team. LeBron. KG, I don't know how to break this to you, dude. Just want to remind you, not so subtly, that we need threes this year, okay? Are you feeling that? Nate?
Fantasy Hoops presented by Toyota, nightly at 1 a.m.
Voicemail again.
Well, Michael Jordan off to the fast start, 3 of 3 from the field, off to a fast start on the comedy meter also during the player introductions. Check this out as Penny Hardaway was introduced to the crowd. Michael unzipping the warm-up pants.
Well, and Penny, not holding any grudges, has been looking for Michael every time out on the floor, passed up a layup to dish off an easy one for Michael Jordan, caught him on a breakaway, as those two have clicked so far early in this ballgame.
But you know what that tells us? Michael Jordan is really about having fun. The second time around, he is enjoying himself, and I think even this All-Star game is going to be a real enjoyable experience. Before it was all business.
Shaquille O'Neal coming up short. The East had hit their previous 10 shots. Beautiful pass. Pippen getting it to Hill. Grant Hill has hit on his first 4. He has 8 points. The East 22 and the West 14. We have 6:10 remaining in this first quarter. The NBA All-Star game from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. 3-point attempt missed by Drexler. Shaquille O'Neal, who on the pregame portion of our program said that he would attempt 5 3-point shots. And he had an ocean break.
Choice of the day is the layup. A lot of these guys are going to get open court play and a chance to really score and do something spectacular. Why bother to shoot the 3?
Well, if you just run the floor at all, Jason Kidd will find you with simple passes and with spectacular passes. There, the no-look touch as Shawn Kemp, who runs the floor as well as any big forward in basketball, is the recipient of the Kidd assist.
3 assists for Kidd, and the Admiral David Robinson. Heard it from the crowd as he checks in for the first substitution. David Robinson getting a long standing ovation during the player introductions. Barkley came back. The Kid was looking for help. The East with a 6-point lead. Drexler with the step. Here's Kemp. Rebound, Robinson. David Robinson in his 7th NBA season, playing in his 7th All-Star game. Kid off the steal is Barkley on the wing, and here's Barkley bringing the West within 2 as you see Dan Aykroyd enjoying the action.
Now, Matt, you got that coach's mentality. Is it really possible to coach in a game like this?
No, not at all. Absolutely no chance at all. First of all, these players are not playing any defense, so that throws everything out of whack. There's a defensive loss.
Nice timing. Oh, did not work. Slightly overthrown in Jennifer Kemp, and the same at the other end.
Well, the strategy is run fast, jump high, shoot straight, and try to keep the lob passes in the building, as this one's sent out of there beautifully by David Robinson, who has made no bones about it. He wants to have a big game here in front of his hometown fans.
Here's Kemp. 8 unanswered points by the West, and they've tied the game at 22. We're coming up on 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. 1 point, the East hit 10 consecutive shots. Jordan got the pick. Yes, Michael Jordan providing a 2-point lead for the East.
Now, Marv, I want you to think about this, because the next time Shawn Kemp scores, he's got a little trotting thing that he does. I want you to describe it and tell me what it is, because it's almost a strut all of its own.
Is it something that can be said on the air?
Yeah.
Drexler off the nice pass from Robinson. And the West has tied the game at 24. I thought you were referring to perhaps an off-color move. No. Shawn would think in those terms. Beautiful move by Hardaway. The East 26 and the West 24. Everybody was extremely nice to Jason Kidd the last couple of days, knowing that they wanted to get the basketball, and he has been delivering, picking up the assists here in the first quarter.
Well, of course, George Karl said a couple of weeks ago that he felt his man, Gary Payton, should have been voted onto the All-Star team, or John Stockton ahead of Jason Kidd. Since then, they have kissed and made up. He explained to Jason that he was just sticking up for his own player, but he really does know and appreciate how good a player Jason Kidd is.
Shaquille O'Neal committed that foul, and Gary Payton of the Seattle Supersonics has come in along with Shawn Elliott of the San Antonio Spurs. Pippen starting back. He's guarded by Elliott. And here is Hill, who has been hot. Rebound swept by Drexler. Drexler on the run. Oh, you know, Clyde loves the tempo here in this first quarter.
And that pass was rising. Shawn Kemp just actually stopped that pass from going out of bounds and then threw it down.
And we have a timeout.
So the game is tied at 26. Phil Jackson calling for time with 2:43 to go in this opening quarter.
Hi, I'm Magic Johnson. Welcome to the fundamentals of basketball.
To be the best, you have to learn from the best. That's why basketball legend Magic Johnson has assembled the greatest team of all-star players and coaches to help players everywhere improve their skills and knowledge of the sport. The Magic Fundamentals comprehensive video is filled with everything you need to know to increase your points, assists, rebounds, and understanding of the game of basketball.
We all are looking to get better, and this tape will make you better if you practice the drills over and over again. You don't have to go to camp. I'm bringing camp right to you.
Take the first step to becoming a great basketball player with Magic Fundamentals on 2 DVDs. Order now and get Magic's Conditioning DVD free. That's over 2 hours of basketball instruction plus the Conditioning DVD for 2 payments of only $19.99. And when you call, ask how you can own Magic's Fundamentals for Kids and Advanced DVD programs. Call the number on your screen now or order online at magicjohnsondvd.com. Rush delivery available.
It's NBA All-Star 2007. See the league's best young stars in the T-Mobile Rookie Challenge and Youth Jam. Then experience the brilliance of All-Star Saturday Night presented by EA Sports. The weekend culminates with the amazing All-Star Game. Don't miss NBA All-Star 2007 this weekend, only on TNT.
Back in San Antonio, let's go to the Dean of Sideline Reporting, Ahmad Rashad, who was with that old cut-up, Michael Jordan.
All right, thanks, Mark. Speaking of cutting up, man, what was the whole deal with pulling Anthony's pants on the warm-ups?
Well, I've done it a couple of years. I did it to Joe Dumars one year, but it all started when someone did it to me my first couple of years. So I decided to pass it along.
But, you know, I think what it showed is that when you came back now, you have a much more loose attitude about playing this game of basketball.
Yeah, I feel better about my whole attitude towards the game and towards, you know, some of my responsibilities to the game. And I enjoy being around the young players. You know, I mean, a lot of those guys are very exciting, and I enjoy them.
All right. I'll see you later on. Come on back and talk to me. All right, Marv.
Thank you, Ahmad. Substitutions for the East squad: Patrick Ewing of the New York Knicks, Reggie Miller of the Indiana Pacers, Terrell Brandon of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Vin Baker of the Milwaukee Bucks have checked in. That's Baker with a beautiful move and fouled by Kemp. Vin Baker having another superb season, averaging 21 points, 10 rebounds, playing in his second All-Star game and going to the line.
Now, Matt, that makes a statement for me. See, Shawn Kemp attempted to play defense that time, and he still got scored on. So what difference does it make?
Well, right, some instincts just will never go away. Shawn Kemp is a very aggressive player. Did get a hand up on that shot. Too aggressive with it on the foul, but nice to see Vin Baker get off to a good start. He admittedly was very nervous last year and never really got into the flow.
The East has hit 14 of 20 from the field at one stretch, 10 in a row. They lead by 3 points. We come up on 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Ewing, and he drew the foul committed by Robinson.
Another defensive effort, this time by David Robinson, trying to challenge the pass. I think I remember a player earlier, David, actually tried to block a shot. Again, the good defensive players, it's just something that comes natural to them around the basket or when somebody's going to take a shot to challenge it. The big problem defensively in an all-star game is transition defense. Neither team is just serious about getting back, and that's why you see so many open court plays.
One we've never had, well, I guess maybe Bill Russell would classify as a defensive type of player that could change this kind of a game. But in the modern era that we've been watching on television, we've never had a defensive player dominate the game. I mean, it's always been offense, and I would suspect that that's what it's going to be this afternoon, and you just have to find out who's got the torch.
All right, Mitch Richmond, last year's All-Star Game MVP, has come on, as has Karl Malone of the Utah Jazz, and Robinson got squeezed. Foul committed by Patrick Ewing.
East, number 33, Patrick Ewing.
The East 31 and the West 26. Glenn Rice of the Charlotte Hornets on the floor for the first time. Oh, Elliott not expecting the return pass from Richmond.
The three guys that I think are going to be the most nervous out here: Terrell Brandon, Shawn Elliott, and Glenn Rice. This is a big moment for all of them, and they may have a tough time making their own statement.
There's Payton for Malone. Back to Payton, and he'll put the move on Brandon. 3-point lead for the East. Terrell Brandon taking over the point guard duties when Mark Price went down last season. One of the major reasons that the Cavaliers have been a big surprise. Here's Elliott. And he stepped out of bounds. Going baseline, but stepped out.
You mentioned Terrell Brandon. After the Cavaliers got off to an 0-7 start, yeah, everybody had to have their heads swirling in Cleveland as to what was going to happen. But
are you talking about because they had to listen to the czar, Mike Fratello? Is that what you're indicating?
Pretty much. His head was definitely swirling. But this team has gotten themselves together, 26-13 since.
And Brandon able to convert, giving us the 5-point lead. But Robinson gets it right back. The East 33, the West 30. We're down to 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Baker off the deflection. And they swing it out to Rice.
You know, that Glenn Rice better not make a three-pointer today because, you know, he cost me money last night. I had him in the three-point shootout as a defending champ and in a flame. I mean, that was the best three-point shooting contest we've had. The defending champ goes down. He'll probably make 10 today.
What a performance by Tim Legler of the Washington Bullets.
He was terrific, and you know, it's really nice to see him do that. He bounced around, had a real tough time making it in the league, and then to step up and to have that kind of performance in front of a huge crowd was terrific.
Karl Malone brings the West within one, and the East with a plan here. They will hold for a final shot.
And Matt put his hand up. He signaled over there to Jackson and said, give me some coaching now.
Final seconds of the quarter. Rice way off. Richmond gives it up to David Robinson as this first quarter comes to a close. Michael Jordan, a 4 for 4, 8-point first quarter, and Shawn Kemp running the floor effectively, 5 of 7 for his 10. 60% shooting for the East, 61 by the West. The East by 1 after 1 here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio.
Okay, the presentation's tomorrow, so let's make sure we all know our usual responsibilities. Jeff, you keep feeding me old information. Dean, I need you to continue not living up to your resume. Sue, you're in charge of waffling.
Are you sure?
Jerome, you'll talk a big game, then do nothing.
Let's do it.
Rick, can you fold under pressure for me?
Like a lawn chair.
And Ted, you just keep thinking everyone's out to get you.
They are.
I'll be at FedEx Kinko's, where they'll help me design, print, copy, and finish the proposal.
Introducing FedEx Kinko's Direct Mail Services, the one place for your direct mail needs.
Just practice. Introducing Steve Nash's MVP Basketball, the complete instructional DVD program that teaches you the fundamentals of basketball.
And Steve Nash knows the fundamentals of basketball.
Call or go online now to order Steve Nash's MVP Basketball program for the low introductory price of only $29.95. Act now and you'll receive a second DVD, Steve's Team Play and Practice Organization, perfect for the parent coach, and it's absolutely free. But it's not available in stores, so you must act now.
Well, the 1991 All-Star Game in Charlotte saw Charles Barkley, then of the 76ers, score 17 points, grab 22 rebounds as the East won, 116-114. Charles also MVP of that game in Charlotte. Sir Charles is alongside Hannah Storm. Hannah?
Thanks, Marvin. Charles and I were just noting the intensity of this game a little more than it has been in the last few years.
Yeah, I think so. I think the East really wants to win the game. We're out here to have fun. We could test yesterday. We thought yesterday we're going to be a little serious today.
How much of that do you think has to do with Michael being back?
Well, I think that, you know, the East, we beat them pretty easily last year. And I think they got some criticism after the game that they didn't play hard. And Michael's a very competitive person, so that helps also.
All right, Charles, get back to the bench. We'll talk to you later.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Marv.
I note some laryngitis on the part of Charles Barkley. I think he has been enjoying the festivities here in San Antonio. Second quarter is underway. Ewing with the rebound. This is Brandon. He has Miller and Rice in the open floor, but it is broken up.
I think Charles also is liking the way he has been playing lately, ever since he came back from that toe surgery, and Danny Manning is back. Kevin Johnson was back temporarily, Cotton taking over. And what a performance he had on Tuesday night in that emotional win over Chicago.
Are you going out on the limb and predicting that Phoenix is going to be a team to watch in the second half?
I think they're going to be a lot better. They're going to make any noise in the playoffs. Just not enough power and strength in the middle.
David Robinson making some noise with the reverse stuff. And the East lead is now one. Ewing! Patrick Ewing looking like Brent Barry in the slam dunk contest last night.
Yeah, he ran just about as far as Brent on that one, but they gave him a little play.
Nice pass from Malone. And Payton cuts it to a 1-point East lead.
And the West is actually running a little set play with a little high post action, and the East not able to adjust to it.
Miller with the pass broken up by Elliott. George Karl telling us before the game that the West actually had 4 set plays.
Well, David Robinson caught Patrick Ewing falling down, and then a hop, skip, and a jump and a throwdown by Patrick Ewing.
All-star type officiating there.
Miller lost it. We are early second quarter, just a minute and a half gone by. Mitch Richmond not able to hit. And back comes Miller. Reggie Miller of the Indiana Pacers for Vin Baker of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Guys that shoot jump shots in this game are going to be the ones that get hurt the most. Unless they really have the torch going, I don't look for many jump shots to go in.
Well, the team that the East has out on the floor right now, not a good running team. Terrell Brandon, good on the fast break, but so used to playing controlled basketball in Cleveland, but knows how to run the middle on the break. But neither Glenn Rice nor Vin Baker running the wings very well.
And Rice called for that foul. Hayden and Richmond in the backcourt. Robinson, Malone, and Elliott on the front line. The strike by Peyton Ewing got a piece of it. Miller being played by Richmond. Here's Brandon around. Peyton let the ball knocked away and a foul.
Reggie doesn't understand. This is an all-star game. That was supposed to pay out.
Timeout taken by the West. The East by 1.
Over the past half-decade, BetterBasketball.com has become the world's leader in improvement videos, bringing you 6 DVDs to build a foundation of the fundamental skills: shooting, dribbling, passing, defending, scoring from the post, and attacking from the perimeter. Now, Better Basketball brings you the most advanced DVD ever released: scoring without the ball. The video features unmatched detail on reacting to your teammates' dribble penetration, developing slasher moves, working off screens, and getting open when denied. The DVD even uses pro footage, so you'll see the techniques applied in real games from around the globe. Plus, you'll learn from Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman and Jason Kidd. If your goal is to play at the next level or just plain win, get the entire Better Basketball series, put in the sweat, and then reap the rewards. Learn more about all 7 DVDs from BetterBasketball.com or call us at 1-800-BETTER-B. If you buy 6 of the videos, the 7th is free. Order now at BetterBasketball.com.
Why does that bother you?
Why does it bother me? So easy a caveman can do it?
Well, it's just a commercial.
Okay. Well, what if it said Geico.com, so easy a therapist can do it?
Well, that commercial wouldn't make sense to me.
Why not?
Well, therapists are...
Are what? Smart? My mother's calling. I'll put it on speaker.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The mayor of San Antonio, Bill Thornton, has made it clear that the city should not build an arena. There are a couple of problems here, guys. Playing in a dome is not exactly intimate. And the Spurs feel they need luxury suites to compete with other NBA clubs.
How far outside the city limits are we talking about here? Are we talking 16 miles or all the way to New Orleans?
That has been brought up.
Or Nashville.
Right.
You know,
go ahead, Steve.
The scary thing about it is here is another franchise with great support from the community, but the arena game has become such a big issue that it's almost hard for them to compete sometimes in staying ahead, salaries and players.
Well, the previous ownership built an arena that is also designed for football, but they were not able to attract an NFL franchise. Pass from Brandon and the foul called as Rice try to release it. They did have of all things, a Canadian Football League franchise here in San Antonio. I believe this is kind of southwestern Canada.
Well, remember this. It was a used car salesman that owned the team.
Yes.
Now they bought a lemon or something like it because the current owner is saying the dome was a mistake. And Shawn Elliott feels that if they had been playing in the old hemisphere, they might have won a championship a year ago because it was so tight and noisy in there.
And one other factor, earlier this year, David Robinson signed a long-term extension, a huge one, but modest by what we're going to see in the future, maybe around $11 million a year. But the reason reason he signed it was he was assured that the Spurs franchise would stay right here in San Antonio.
But Matt, he didn't get it in writing.
The East with a 1-point lead with 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Marv Albert, Lucas, Steve, Snapper Jones. Shawn Elliott not able to hit. Kept alive by Gary Payton. Trying to put it between the legs, but Terrell Brandon there has a 3-on-1. Reggie Miller with the finisher. And the East with a 3-point advantage. As Payton putting moves on Brandon and drew the foul.
Well, sometimes you dance too much, and Terrell Brandon caught Gary Payton off step and made it an easy score for Reggie Miller.
For the West, Gary Payton at the line. 2 shots.
And Gary Payton in his 6th year out of Oregon State. On the line, Payton leading the NBA in steals. He's averaging just under 3 per game.
And until that ill-advised pass by Gary, he was so basic and sound, just making the normal pass that was there, making the good point guard play, just got a little bit out of control and paid for it.
The East by 1. They've led by as many as 8. Brandon surprised Rice with no pass. And rebounded by Juwan Howard, who checked in just a moment ago. Payton again puts it between the legs. Here's Elliott laying it off from Malone. The foul. Lonzo Mourning of the Miami Heat, who came on for the first time. Called for that foul on a reach-in. So Karl Malone to the line.
You know, Karl's an example of what we're talking about with all-star play. He hurt his finger before. He's been here before. And, you know, every year he makes a statement about not coming. But every year he comes and he puts on a terrific show. He's been an MVP once on his own, a half of MVP with John Stockton. And I think once he gets here, his whole attitude always changes. The way he's beat it up right now, he's into this game.
And in last year's all-star game, Karl Malone 15 points and 16 minutes of playing time, a 9-time All-Star, Karl Malone, and he has given the West a 1-point lead, the West leading for the first time. Brandon. Richmond with the save. Malone trying to get the pass. It was touched last by the East. George Karl refusing to give up the basketball.
And he has very strong hands. He'll never get it out of there. Actually overpassing on the part of Karl Malone.
And the call was changed. The ball will go to the West.
Well, you know, George Karl was once known as the Pillsbury Doughboy. He played here for the San Antonio Spurs.
I didn't know that, Steve.
Should have had a jump ball between Reggie Miller and George Karl.
Yeah. George with roots here. That alley-oop a bit off the mark. Karl with roots here in San Antonio. Played for the Spurs in the ABA and in the NBA. Also an assistant coach with San Antonio under Doug Moe in 1979 and 80. Alonzo Mourning has the outside touch. The West with a 42-41 lead. Brandon for Miller. Mourning around Robinson. The tip missed by Miller. And Malone gets it ahead. There's Payton whipping it down to the crowd.
Well, I think all these guys in white jerseys ought to know with Payton that you got to go toward the basket. Don't drift out to the side because he's going to try to make something special happen. And, of course, Matt, he's used to playing with the Rain Man. You know, you just throw it up there and Shawn Kemp will catch it.
Juwan Howard keeping it alive. Brandon for 3. So Terrell Brandon with the game's first 3-pointer. East has cooled down here in the second quarter after the hot start. But they now lead by 2. Elliott for 3. Running up. There you go. Both players looking for a call.
Well, that's a stat we also have to keep track of, the officials that make the calls. I mean, Ed Middleton's ahead about 3-1 on everyone else.
Brandon again from downtown, along with the box out. Richmond handling. Guarded by Juwan Howard, who has had an outstanding second NBA season with the Washington Bullets. Malone tried the fadeaway. Here comes Brandon. Again, the East on the run. Brandon around Elliott and draws the foul. Shawn Elliott called for the hack. It leads to a timeout. The East up by 2 with 6:20 to go in this first half. We'll be back in the Alamo City in a moment.
How do you feel tonight? Yeah, it looked. I mean, you looked good. You looked like you were working.
You were fooled. Every time I dunk. Drop 30, 40. It fooled you. Because you believe that was about me. While I believe. Takes 5, baby. But you're not a fool. Are you?
When you search for a car at Autotrader.com, we send more cars your way than anyone. A lot more cars. So you can narrow it down by model, the color, even the price. When you search from the largest selection,
that's the one.
You get the car you want at the price you want. Autotrader.com, the ultimate automotive marketplace.
There is always much to do on All-Star Weekend, and here in San Antonio, the Jam Session has provided a terrific time for everyone. Boys and girls testing their basketball skills, measuring up to the pros. That's Ahmad's favorite, the bungee shot. Basketball clinics with NBA players paying visits, lots of autograph seekers of all ages, plus NBC announcer edition.
Yes! Go! All right, Michael!
Just excellent work. And we're all in trouble.
I knew you were giving seminars, Marv, but I didn't know you were over there.
Those kids did a very strong audition, it should be pointed out. 6:20 to go in this first half. Terrell Brandon of the Cavaliers on the line, and the East now leading 45-42.
Brandon wearing number 14 for Bobby Phills, his teammate with the Cleveland Cavaliers, saying that those two came together 4 years ago, both in the league now, 4 years with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and dedicating this game to Bobby.
Yes, Terrell usually wears number 1, and he wanted to honor his hard-working teammate Bobby Phills, who has also had a very solid season. Malone on the drive. Karl Malone ending the drought for the West. They had missed their previous 6 shots. East up by 2. Howard, Pippen and Mourning now up front. Pippen is back along with Hardaway. Really fake by Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen, most valuable player of the All-Star game 2 years ago in Minneapolis. Here's the steal by Pippen. It's a 4-on-2. Brandon. Well, Terrell Brandon able to finish it off after 4 players touched the ball.
Well, he better make a case for open court basketball with Coach Fratello, because he's really very good here, and he's making some sensational plays, and maybe we'll see things speeded up.
Guess what? It's not going to happen. Too much success playing the other way. Control the ball. Don't turn it over. Give yourself a chance to win at the end. They have mastered it.
Shawn Elliott with his first field goal. The East by 4. Here is Pippen. Yes. The East leading 52-46. 5 minutes left in this first half. John Stockton of the Jazz getting set to come on for the first time. Elliott coming up short on the three-point attempt. Hardaway had it broken up. Good play by Payton. Payton and Richmond at the guards. Elliott up front with Malone, and now Dikembe Mutombo of the Denver Nuggets. Another good attempt by Payton looking for the steal, and now Gary will sit down. Here's John Stockton, the NBA's all-time assist leader in his 12th NBA season out of Gonzaga.
I think prime time is watching this game because Gary Payton is going to show him how to defend out there. He has really been in the passing lane and done a real good job of keeping some defensive saves for up for the West.
Howard on the offensive rebound. 6-point lead for the East. Richmond. Some sweet, nothing's whispered into his ear by Mourning as he got the step on Alonzo.
Well, his last couple of jump shots were way off, so Mitch Richmond, the consummate scorer, figures if I can't make it from the outside, I'm going to put my head down and attack that rim.
And Michael Jordan is back on the floor. He hit on 4 of 4 in the early going. He has 8 points. Mourning. And it is called an offensive foul. He can't believe it. Alonzo pushing off.
You know what he's saying to Ronnie Nunn, the official? This is an all-star game, isn't it? When was the last time you saw that call made?
Well, against Kemp, of all people, who had both hands on Alonzo Mourning to begin with. Kemp likes to use those hands, forearms, elbows, and does it very well.
Former teammates at Georgetown. Stockton had it blocked. Jordan with Mourning getting down court. Alonzo Mourning. And that is his first field goal. Back comes Malone, and he's pushed by Jordan.
And Michael did everything he could to try to avoid it. Said Eddie Rush, the official, said, I tried to miss him. I tried not to touch him. But Michael fell asleep after he made that pass. His first responsibility was to get back on defensively, but didn't do it. And the East squad has had problems with the big forwards of the West. Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Kemp, much as they did last year with the smaller forwards starting out the game, Pippen and Grant Hill. Talking to Phil Jackson before the game about it, he said, I'm not really worried about the big forwards. I think we've got an edge with quickness.
You talk about guys that can get up and down the floor, and those 3 guys all excel in open court play, and that gives the West an advantage. But the last shot by Malone showed you why he's so good at getting to the free throw line. He actually took himself into Jordan to make sure that the official called the whistle for him.
Well, we saw a double up. Here's Richmond trying to help out on Jordan. Hardaway for 3. The chip missed by Pippen. And Stockton running the floor. A bit too strong. And how often do you see that? Stockton misfiring with Malone.
It's like they're not used to playing with one another. They've only done that about 15,000 times, only connected on the play.
And a timeout called by the East coach, Phil Jackson. The East leading by 5 points with 3:09 left in the half.
So you gonna put me in your 5? You are not gonna get in my 5 wearing that hat. Man, this hat is stylish. My 5, my rules. Okay, how about now? It really wasn't about the hat.
Who's in your fave 5? Introducing My Faves from T-Mobile. Unlimited calls to any 5 people, any number, even landlines.
There are no free rides on the road to victory. Do you have what it takes to pay the toll? Gatorade, is it in you?
And we're coming up on 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Grant Hill is back on the floor, as is Shaquille O'Neal. Hardaway posting up. And a foul is called.
Well, there is a definite mismatch out there for whoever John Stockton is going to guard. The last possession before the timeout, he was watching Michael Jordan that went right into the post, and a whistle stoppage, and now right into Hardaway with John Stockton, who just gives up way too much height.
And a foul called on Stockton again. A mismatch. Hardaway going at Stockton, who went down and committed the foul.
Marv, we have to notice that watching is the word that he used for defensive coverage there.
That's a hockey term, you know. Karl Malone departs. Shawn Kemp is back. Kemp with 2 points, got off to the fast start.
Well, players of all sizes have trouble watching Penny Hardaway deep in the post. Wow.
And Hardaway sweeping in, and he was pushed from behind. Richmond tried to help out, and he picked up the personal.
On the West, number 55,
Well, they call this on Dikembe Mutombo, but it looked like Anthony Hardaway pushed off. You know, if anybody considers the basket area his temple, it's Mutombo. He likes to slap everything that comes in there away. I'll be interested to see how he tries to find Hardaway the next time he's going for a layup.
Well, we have a moment here on behalf of all of us. We would like to wish a speedy recovery to the president of NBC Sports, Dick Ebersol. Dick, as always, watching us. I'm sure taking notes with that extra thick notepad here this evening. But we wish Dick well and hope to see him back in the office in very short time. The East with a 56-51 lead with 2:25 remaining in this first half. There's Pete Sampras, who has not missed an event all weekend. He has been everywhere. Foul committed by Mutombo, and that will put Shaquille at the line. His free throw shooting is down to 46%. Now, Matt, you see him on a regular basis, 53% last year, which people were certainly wondering about, but now he's at 46. How do you explain this?
Well, it's gone down every year, and once again, trying something new, and it's very difficult to do it in the middle of the season. And when you're up there thinking about changes, it's just too difficult. And right now, Shaq is just shooting them on a line drive way too flat.
All right, now you played with one of the worst free throwers of all time in Wilt Chamberlain, and you knew all of the things that they told him. How can a guy get any help with a free throw?
Well, you got to do it in the off-season. As Mutombo finishes off in there, you can't do it in the middle of the season. You have to put the time in correcting your mechanics in the off-season, and then put the repetitions there. And then once basketball starts, you got to forget about it and go with what you've got.
Are you saying Shaquille is not working on his free throw shooting in the offseason?
I think he is to a degree, but then comes the time the training camp starts, it's another change and another thought process. You got to find something and stay with it.
4-point lead for the East. Hardaway off the steal, chased by Kidd, who just checked back in. Hardaway spinning his way and hitting. The reverse by Penny Hardaway. It extends to a 6-point East lead with 1:35 left first half. Kidd now being guarded by Jordan. And a traveling violation.
Well, Penny Hardaway saying last year in the first half he felt he was too tentative, trying to make too many plays for other people. This time he said he's going to come out and just be aggressive and play his game. And we saw an example of it right there.
Well, the West with 17 turnovers. Michael Jordan with the touch. He's 5 of 5. He has 10 points. 8-point East lead. They opened up on fire. At one point hit 10 straight. They hit 10 of 11 from the field. Kemp. Rebound kept alive by Kidd. And here's Kidd for 3. Jason Kidd, who has improved his offense this season, but still the question is the outside touch is able to hit from downtown.
You know, the thing about him is that just when you think he can't make shots from the outside, he'll have a game where he makes 4 or 5 3-pointers in important situations. He's a lot like Dennis Johnson. Look awful, and then make them when they mean the most.
It might be the one thing that could keep him off the dream team, because everything else he does well. He can pressure the ball. He certainly can pass it. He can get his team running, but the outside shot against zones might be a question.
Come on. What are they average? What are they averaging here with wins? They're winning by 40-some points, and we got to worry about outside shooting.
I know. Just throw it up at the rim. Somebody will get the miss and put it in.
That is still coaching. 6 points for Drexler. Matt wants to worry, even though he doesn't have a ball clip to worry about. Let him worry.
I got that from an inside source that I cannot reveal at this time.
Coming up on 10 seconds remaining in this first half. Jordan, Pippen, and Jordan with the open shot. Hill with the rebound as the buzzer sounds. And at the half of this 46th NBA All-Star game, it is the East by 3.
Imagine a ball guaranteed to stay inflated.
The Never Flap from Spalding. Inside, large nitroflate molecules prevent smaller air molecules from escaping, so the ball stays inflated 10 times longer. The Never Flap, basketballs and soccer balls from Spalding, true to the game.
You know so much about me. Honey, you should try this.
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh, come on.
Thank you.
Phil Jackson, the head coach of the Eastern Conference, his team on top at 61 to 58.
Jackson set the second. Got it. Then MJ after he comes off. It's another pick with MJ up off.
The East up by 3. Come on, Charles, go, baby. Let's listen in on Phil Jackson.
Comes off the second pick. Come on,
The Eastern Conference bumping bodies as Shaquille O'Neal gets ready to take the floor. They're up by 3.
$36,000 at the Alamo Dome, San Antonio, as we get set for the start of play in the second half of this 46th annual NBA All-Star Game. The East with a 61-58 lead on the West. And both clubs are back to the starting lineups. Grant Hill, Scottie Pippen, Shaquille O'Neal up front, Michael Jordan, Penny Hardaway at the guard. Michael Jordan with 12 points. And the East now leading by 5. Setting the West, Jason Kidd of the Dallas Mavericks in the backcourt, along with Clyde Drexler of the Houston Rockets, Akeem Olajuwon of the Rockets, Charles Barkley of the Suns, Shawn Kemp of the Sonics. Hardaway off the steal. Here's Hill.
And a terrific defensive play by Penny Hardaway, who with Grant Hill, and they were teammates on the college group that played against and scrimmaged against Dream Team 1, so they didn't know each other well. They just switched on the pick and roll, and Hardaway took it away from the bigger Kemp.
Well, we didn't get to hear from the coaches, but I want to ask you something. Here you got one of these all-star games. You got people that have played pretty good. How do you get that energy level back up, Matt?
Well, if you're the West, you get Jason Kidd back out on the floor and let him push the ball up the floor as much as possible. And if you're the East, you put the ball in that man's hands, Michael Jordan, to make something happen.
Oh, Kidd on the break, slipping it to Barkley. Let's try to get it back. One pass too many. And Hardaway moving on. Kemp, nice lead from and the East up 67-60 with a minute and a half gone by in the third quarter.
You can tell Mark Barkley does not want to be MVP. He would never turn down a jump shot like that.
Very unselfish on the part of Charles, who's hit 4 of 5. Drexler with a rare three-pointer. And for the West, that is only their second from downtown. They're 2 of 12 from three-point range. Shaquille O'Neal, 7 points for Shaq. The East with the 69-63 lead. And Olajuwon making the turn was blocked by O'Neal.
Well, Charles Barkley is definitely not himself. We heard him seemingly suffering from laryngitis. That may have been out on the golf course in Las Vegas or Phoenix, probably yelling 4 a lot.
Yes. Hey, Olajuwon. Is this prepared material you're coming in with now, Matt?
Wait, you mean you doubt the 81 that he gave the last time we heard him say anything about golf?
And with another opportunity, yes, and it counts.
Well, oddly enough, Drexler is going to get the first one here on a clean block of beauty, but Shaq stays with it. You know, Akeem Olajuwon had been saying for quite some time that he didn't think he should start in this game. He thought David Robinson should get the starting nod, especially since it was his hometown. I think there was also a method to Akeem's madness. I don't think he wanted to bang around with Shaquille O'Neal early in the first and third quarters.
7-point lead for Shawn Kemp, soaring past Scottie Pippen. And Shawn Kemp with 12. He's hit 6 of 9 from the field. Hardaway using the pick.
There's the dance. There's the dance right there.
And he'll take it. That is not usually part of Shaquille's repertoire. And the East now leads 74-67. 3 minutes gone by in the third. Olajuwon facing the double team. Here is Kemp for 3. Michael Jordan trying to give it back. Looked like he was setting up to put one down. A moment ago, Shawn Kemp with the sweeping drive for the stuff along the baseline. Let's take a listen.
Not only the shotgun, but the sound effect that he gives it on the way down.
It's a good place not to have your head right under that rim when people like Shawn Kemp and Shaquille O'Neal are throwing it down.
Foul was committed by Kemp. So Jordan to the line for the first time.
It was interesting yesterday at the East practice. Phil Jackson had the team scrimmaging. He felt that a lot of these players had not played in a few days. Wanted to get them used to running up and down the floor, passing and catching and getting a feel for each other's timings. And so far it's paid off.
Was he working on the full court pressure at that time?
I did not see that, and I did not see the triangle offense, although Scottie Pippen desperately wanted to put that in. He just told us that. He loves the triangle.
The East leading 76-67. This is the biggest lead for the East squad. Barkley. And here comes Jordan going behind the back on Kidd. Hardaway back for Jordan.
Keep passing them out.
3 on 2, and it is Richmond. That was a 3-point attempt. The West 2 of 14 downtown. Shaquille O'Neal with 14 points, and the East has opened up a 13-point ball. Drexler stripped by Hill, and Hill knocked it away.
Well, this time Shaq had the opportunity to pull up behind that line and launch his first of 5 threes that he promised, but he's all business right now. He saw the opening, took the pass, and charged it right to the rim.
But remember, he also promised some new moves, so he has shown us that he's got guard-like tendencies, and he wants to drive that ball. But one thing that the guys in the green uniforms are doing, they're shooting the ball. When they get chances to shoot it, they're going to shoot it. They're not going to overpass.
Is that green or aqua? It's a most unusual color, I must say, Steve. That's the story here of the third quarter. The East with the advantage off an 8-0 run. The West has missed its last 5 shots. Olajuwon to the jump hook. East up 80-69. West has won 3 of the last 4. That was too easy on the penetration for Grant Hill.
That's the signature move of Grant Hill, that crossover from the right elbow. Nice move by Jason Kidd, getting all the way to the rim. But Grant Hill has that explosive move from high out on that right elbow area. A lot of times he'll pass up that open jump shot because he knows he can get all the way to the basket.
But you also got to remember he's being guarded by Charles Barkley. And as you said, if his voice is hoarse, it's from too much golf, and certainly not a thought about guarding Grant Hill.
Grant Hill, incidentally, bothered recently by an injured wrist. The Pistons were very concerned, but it turns out that it was only tissue damage. He missed 1 game. And the Pistons say it might go back to an old college injury at Duke. That was intended for Hill on the alley-oop. Here comes Payton keeping the dribble alive. Richmond. Rebound Jordan. It is a 3-on-1 developing. Hill for O'Neal. And he's fouled by Barkley, not allowing the shot. Now David Robinson will check back in, replacing Hakeem Olajuwon.
As George Karl continues to search for some kind of combination, the thought was good as far as bringing Mitch Richmond in, who's a guy that you just normally pencil in 22, 23 points a game. He just can't get a shot to fall. He's gone with 2 point guards, Payton and Kidd, and now come with David Robinson.
And apparently Elijah Wan remains on the floor, so Robinson and Elijah Wan will play together.
All right, here's that coaching thing that George Karl likes to do. I got a lot of bigs. I got a lot of smalls. Let's see what they're going to do and see how they're going to adjust. And immediately, another coaching move. Ben Baker comes in the game, so we got size.
84-71. The East with the lead. 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Robinson, Elijah Wan, and an illegal defense call for the first time. Wow.
I can't remember ever in all the All-Star games I've seen in the last, whatever, 5-10 years, ever since the illegal defensive guidelines came in, ever seen one called in an All-Star game.
The second violation would mean a technical foul award. Here's Payton on the spin, giving it up to Elijah Wan. And Kidd for 3. O'Neal with the rebound. Shaquille with a big third quarter, 11 of the 16 in the third. Michael Jordan switching hands in midair, drawing the foul. And he'll go to the line. Robinson committing the personal, his second.
Well, when Jordan has that tongue out, there's only one thing you know. He's headed toward the basket. He's still got some pretty good lift because he had to get control of the ball in order to get it up to the basket to draw the foul.
Well, Michael leading the league in scoring at just over 30 points a game, and has done it most of the time this year with perimeter shooting and a lot of post-ups that he has. He's developed a fadeaway jump shot and only going to the basket when needed, coming down the stretch of ball games.
Michael coming off a 40-point, 11-rebound game at Golden State on Wednesday night for the 42-5 Chicago Bulls. The East by 15. Payton played by Rice, who just checked in. Here is Richmond. Richmond not able to find the range. Jordan with 20 points. Able to finish off the break. Here's Robinson. Could not convert. Elijah Wan. And handled by Baker.
Well, and nothing looks good leaving the Western Conference hands on any kind of shot right now. The East just playing with a great deal of confidence.
Now this
is Payton.
This is an explosive Jordan, though. Still going for that slam dunk. I mean, that head was right around the cylinder.
And the East has outscored the West 27-13 here in the third as Michael Jordan sits down. 8 of 11 from the field for Jordan. 4 of 4 from the line for 20 points. The West, and you mentioned nothing looks good coming off their hands. The West has missed its last 8 shot attempts. And they are now down by 18 points.
And whatever chart George Karl had as far as minutes going in this third quarter and early fourth quarter has had to be thrown out the window right now as he just keeps looking for something to click at the offensive end, and nothing has happened so far in this second half.
John Stockton is back, as is Shawn Elliott. Karl trying to do some shuffling here in the third. Richmond played by Rice. Robinson over Ewing, who just checked back in. Elliott keeps it alive. Off the head fake. Robinson. And Robinson with a second opportunity. So they had missed 11 consecutive shots before the tip by David Robinson.
That's one way to get some scoring, is get to the offensive glass. But right now the West is so small out there, with the exception of David Robinson. Nobody else can get to the offensive board.
Well, that is the favorite move of Patrick Ewing of the New York Knicks. That head fake and then the fadeaway from the baseline. The East up 92-73. The East is 12 of 16 from the field here in the third quarter.
But you see those two guys right there, and both of them really sweating. That tells you that they came out and worked that third quarter. Shaquille O'Neal and Michael Jordan, everybody else basically took it easy. Those guys carried the third quarter of offense for them, and nobody in the West, if you were to take a shot at that West bench, you'd see they're dry as a bone. There's a difference in how they approach the third quarter of play.
Terrell Brandon, who played well in the first half, is back on the floor. That's Brandon with the ball. Ewing trying to set the screen. And here's Miller for three. Back comes Payton. Oh, Richmond step, but then met by the combination of Ewing and Baker. And the foul is called on Patrick Ewing. With 2:42 left in the third, a timeout taken.
FedEx saved us with their overnight service, so we've added FedEx Ground for everyday shipping.
Ground? That doesn't sound fast.
Actually, Joel, FedEx Ground is faster than you think.
You can't judge things by their name. Don't you agree, Harry?
Absolutely.
Eileen?
Of course.
Joy? Bob?
You see, Joel, we all agree that FedEx Ground is fast, despite the name Ground.
Well said, Mr. Turkeyneck.
FedEx Ground. Fast, reliable, and for less than you think.
105.99, 18.7 seconds left. Miller for three, and he got it. Reggie Miller with a clutch tray, and it's 105-102. And a steal. Miller retreats to the three-point line and hits again. Reggie Miller made a three, stole the ball, raced behind the three-point line, and hit again.
One of the greatest clutch playoff performers of his generation has apparently done it again.
You know, I've heard a lot of motivational speeches in my life, but nothing quite like this. Make a career of humanity, and you will make a greater person of yourself, a greater nation of your country, and a finer world to live in. These are the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose accomplishments are an inspiration to us all.
For Carl, his second All-Star game as a head man, seeking his first victory. Carl coached the West squad back in 1994, 127-118 Eastern Conference win. The East up big with 2:42 to play in the third quarter. John Stockton will try and lead the West to a rally. East up 19.
Ahmad Rashad back with Scottie Pippen. And Scottie, I just want you to take a look at this.
Yeah, good choice. You know, the whole father-in-waiting thing has changed since the Ricky Ricardo days. It's nice to preserve some traditions. Just a sec. I think that, can't you see that we're...
Hey, Jerry, right?
Uh-huh.
I just want to thank you again.
You're welcome. Can you stay right here just 1 second? 1 minute, 1 minute. 1 minute.
Scottie, man, I didn't know that you could act like that, man. That's incredible.
I'm multi-talented.
I understand it, but is all the lines you had?
Oh, I had great lines. Series will be out next week, so I want you to look forward to it. I'm trying to move into Hollywood.
I'll do that, but could you wait right here for just 1 second?
No, sure. Right.
Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Ahmad. That was purely Strasburg style for Scottie Pippen. There's George Clooney, one of the stars of ER, and Scottie Pippen's segment will be seen, we're told, this coming Thursday on ER at 10 o'clock here on NBC. Oh, Baker, yes, and it counts. And Baker will go to the line with 2.5 remaining in this third quarter. It is now a 94-74 lead for the East. A 22-7 run by the East. Multi-talented, huh, Scottie Pippen?
I got a lot of great.
They're all on the cutting room floor, though.
Stockton with Payton and Richmond in a three-guard alignment. John Stockton Robinson and Elliott also on the floor for the West. While the East going with Brandon and Miller at the guards. Ewing with Baker and Rice. Brandon for three from way out. And back comes the West. Stockton with the pull-up for three. Richmond stripping Rice. Payton with the ball fake, and it's a goaltend. The basket will carry.
You can see John Stockton sensing that the West needs some kind of a run here. He's going to try to do it himself. He pulled up and took the three. As far as getting people involved, and Steve, I hate to sound like a coach, but the only way you come back from 20 is you've got to do something defensively and then go the other way and get an easy basket. It's the only way.
Steve, I sense you resent the coaching mentality.
But you got to score the ball. You know, I have a problem with the way that the game is even being coached nowadays because all of our games are so low in scoring, 45, 48 in the third quarter. And I always ask your coach, what is going on in the game today? Too much coaching.
Trying to win games. I saw where Magic Johnson came out and he says he does not like all the isolation that he is seeing. I wonder if it's Terrell Branford. I wonder when Magic was coaching if he did some of that. But a lot of isolation, too much of it, and the reason we have a lot of the low-scoring games as well is just kind of trying to control the tempo.
Steve, if certain teams don't have the personnel, what do? You can't run all the time.
Well, a bad team is a bad team. Whether it slows it down or it speeds it up, it's still a bad team. They might be competitive, but ultimately they'll end up losing or they'll crash and burn at some point.
And again, a goaltend, so Stockton gets credit, and the East up by 17.
Oh, his hand is twitching. His hand is twitching.
Take two teams like Cleveland and Detroit. They just do not have the guns to go out and play against the Orlando, Chicagos, and Indianas. As Glenn Rice finally gets a three for the East. So in order to compete against those better teams, they have to play a certain style. And Fatella has his team 5 games over 500. Doug Collins has his team 1 game over 500. If they tried to play another way, they would have losing records, believe me.
So what you're saying is it's job security.
Well, I think you always have to go out and give your team a chance to win games, and you have to read your personnel and you have to play accordingly. You just can't go out and try to do something that your personnel isn't capable of doing.
We are down to 25 seconds left in the third quarter. Off the steal. Terrell Brandon moves it back across. High point man of the game, Michael Jordan with 20. Gil O'Neill with 16. Shawn Kemp leading the West with 12. Gary Payton with 10. Here is Miller. Yes. Reggie Miller with his 3rd field goal. He has 6 points. And that is the end of the third quarter. So here in San Antonio, after 3. The East with the commanding lead.
The East up 102-80 as we are ready for fourth quarter action. The Sprite game summary. Points off turnovers, a major key. Eastern Conference leading at 37-10. Jordan with the 20 points. Third quarter shooting. The East scorching hot, 73%. The West at 39%. Right now, let's rejoin Marv Albert.
Severely strained.
Yeah, we should all have such a good rubber stamp.
Fourth quarter underway. Reggie Miller called for the foul, but what a job David Stern has done, and has certainly enjoyed the festivities here on All-Star Weekend here in San Antonio. Crowd of better than 36,000. And travel called on Terrell Brandon.
You have to make it a close game,
The largest crowd for an All-Star game, an NBA All-Star game, was 44,735. 44,000 plus 1989 at the Astrodome in Houston. Robinson able to recover. So the East leads 102-82. The East with 41 points in the third quarter. They outscore the West 41-22. Here is Rice on the quick release.
Now, Matt, as a coach, do you decide you want to try to get back in this game if you're the West coach, or are you just content to get players in the game?
Oh, no, you're trying to make a run, and George started it with the beginning of this fourth quarter by going with team combinations. John Stockton and Karl Malone, teammates. David Robinson and Shawn Elliott, teammates, and his own man, Gary Payton. Now he's ready to come back in with Dikembe Mutombo to try to do something at the defensive end with block shots, rebounds, and get some running going. I think he thinks there's another run in this Western team. Why are you looking at me like I'm speaking crazily?
Well, you're speaking like a coach, but you look at it, his body language over there tells me I think he's mailed this one in, and I'm just going to get these guys some time.
Can you read George Karl's body language?
Yeah, I've seen the Mad Doctor enough to know that when he's not up and he's not moving around, he's fairly resolved that this game is over.
Malone was hacked. Foul committed by Ewing. That is his second.
That is the look he had when they lost in the first round of the playoffs. I know that look.
Despite more wins than any NBA coach the past 2.5 years, George Karl, without that fully guaranteed contract for next season, we talked about it earlier with George, he says he doesn't know what is going to happen. He says he is still able to focus, but if they would make a strong, positive commitment, he would listen.
We're hitting the rim, and they're hitting the net.
He loves his team. He likes the team right now with Hersey Hawkins coming in the Kendall Gill trade. Obviously, the team with the best record in the West. Tremendous pressure on George and the Sonics to get out of that first round. And sometimes if you just think of just getting out of the first round, you may have a little sigh of relief there and not be ready for the second round.
Well, let me speak up for coaches, and I'll speak up for George Karl in this sense. He has done a terrific job. I don't know that anyone could have done a better job in making that team competitive, actually getting it to the state where they'd even thought they could have been a championship team. And suddenly, if you yank the rug from underneath them, you're starting all over in Seattle again. Now, that's the last time you'll hear me say something good about it.
Steve, that's all well and good, but as Ewing is able to slam it down, but ownership and fans look at a club that did so well during the regular season, and then they knocked out in the first round. It's hard to accept.
Well, the Denver one was strange as they won that series in 5, but then a tremendous series against Houston last year, the eventual two-time NBA championship. And there's no shame in losing. A lot of teams can say that, but losing to the Houston Rockets in the playoffs the way they played last season.
An 18-point advantage to the East with 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Baker and Mutombo with the rebound. Marv Albert, Matt Guokas, and Steve Jones from San Antonio, Texas. Here is Malone. And the tip missed. Mutombo and tied up. It will be a jump ball. Dikembe Mutombo of the Denver Nuggets.
Well, Mutombo does a great job of retrieving that, but he just can't get the ball back up to throw it down.
Timeout called with 9:39 left in the fourth.
Hi, I'm Magic Johnson. Welcome to the fundamentals of basketball.
To be the best, you have to learn from the best. That's why basketball legend Magic Johnson has assembled the greatest team of all-star players and coaches to help players everywhere improve their skills and knowledge of the sport. The Magic Fundamentals comprehensive video is filled with everything you need to know to increase your points, assists, rebounds, and understanding of the game of basketball.
We all are looking to get better, and this tape will make you better if you practice the drills over and over again. You don't have to go to Kemp. I'm bringing Kemp right to you.
Take the first step to becoming a great basketball player with Magic Fundamentals on 2 DVDs. Order now and get Magic's Conditioning DVD free. That's over 2 hours of basketball instruction plus the Conditioning DVD for 2 payments of only $19.99. And when you call, ask how you can own Magic's Fundamentals for kids and advanced DVD programs. Call the number on your screen now or order online at magicjohnsondvd.com. Rush delivery available.
Jackson has Brandon and Miller in the backcourt. Baker with Mourning and Howard up front. Didn't get it off. And Malone able to run it down. Shawn Elliott off the dribble. Beautifully done. Yes, and it counts. And Shawn hears it from the partisan San Antonio crowd.
Shawn Elliott having his best year as a pro. Averaging 22 points a game, up from 18. Strong drive to the basket there. Got a little injury a couple of weeks ago. Went about a 5-game stretch where he just could not put the ball in the basket, and then bounced back the last 2 games before the All-Star break with big scoring games.
So here's a run by the West, an 11-2 spurt, and they have cut it to a 13-point East lead.
We got 9 minutes left in the game, so Matty's moving a little bit closer to the edge. You can see there, and he's starting to coach.
Reggie Miller with his 4th field goal. He has 8. The East has led by as many as 22 points. Stockton facing a double team.
Well, George Karl's one concern was the team shots were not going in the basket. He said their shots were hitting the rim. The East is getting nothing but the bottom of the net, and mistakes have hurt them as well.
Brandon. And Malone with the rebound. 7 rebounds for Malone. To cut it to a 13-point East lead.
That's why John Stockton is going to lead the NBA in assists for the 9th straight year. Bob Cousy did it 8 straight times. But he just knows when to deliver the ball. Waited for Mutombo to get his feet set to catch it and just make the easy finish.
All right, what's the mental state of Phil Jackson right now? He's got a lead. It's been pretty comfortable, and you take a look at Mutombo come down the lane and adjust, maybe get an extra step, but that's when you really want Mutombo to have the ball going to the basket where he doesn't have to make a lot of adjustments. Does Jackson make some changes?
Well, I'm sorry, Marv. Yeah, I think he'd like to not have to use Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen. He wouldn't mind putting Shaquille or Hardaway back in there to wear him out a little bit.
Here's Malone, and he is fouled by Baker. A moment ago, we saw a face-guarding foul that was called. As Mourning and Mutombo have been having some fun with each other.
Well, they have fun with each other all summer long, and throw Patrick Ewing in there. And he said, hey, you're my teammate. Don't be doing that. Karl Malone, let me make a correction what I said earlier about the Sonics getting beat in the first round. That was by the Los Angeles Lakers. It was the Utah Jazz who won 60 games last year and get knocked off in the first round by the Houston Rockets. So this is a kind of a same situation for Utah this year. They have Felton Spencer back. He's coming back from that injury, and they're going to need him to advance into the playoffs or advance very far.
Now, are you saying that Phil Jackson would use O'Neal before he would use his own man here?
Yes. I think
is there a little subtle politics being played here? I mean, after all, the Magic are chasing the Chicago Bulls.
Right. Keep Shaq happy, keep Penny happy, give them all the playing time they want now.
Shaquille is back on the floor, goes to the fadeaway. The West had a 15-4 run going. It is now the East with a 108-95 lead. 7:20 remaining in the 4th quarter. Nice move by Shaquille. And Howard strip. Malone pops it down. Miller back. Payton behind the back. Saved by Elliott. Stockton for 3. Rebounded by Payton. Harry Payton getting inside. The East 108 and the West 97.
But the wheels are definitely turning over there on that East bench right now as Phil Jackson talking to his assistant coaches, Jimmy Rodgers, Tex Little, Jimmy Cleamons.
Traveling violation, so the West will get it back. Timeout called. 6:47 remaining, 4th quarter. West with a 17-6 run in this 4th quarter, cutting that 22-point lead in half. Shot clock is down to 1. Brandon got it off. Howard missed on the stuff. Stockton. Malone.
this group doesn't have many finishers out there, and it's going to be real tough for the West to get back in it. After they make mistakes, they need to have open court players to finish, and right now the only one really that really excels in that is Karl Malone, and he's not running with a great deal of energy.
Nice move again by Shaquille. He has 20 points. It was Shaquille with an enormous third quarter that helped turn this game around to give the East that 22-point lead. Payton with the spinning move. And fouled by Howard.
Well, let me ask you, Steve, before you get me with the time running down here, 5:29 to go, Michael Jordan or Shaquille O'Neal?
Well, since the coach put him back in, Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, Shaq has really exploded in the second half, gave him that energy along with Michael Jordan. I think that Michael Jordan is easily the sentimental choice, but it looks like Jordan is going to finish the game on the bench, and O'Neal is going to be out on the floor. He may end up scoring more points.
And the stat line on Jordan, 8 of 11 from the field, 20 points in all. O'Neal 9 of 15 for his 20. The East with a 110-98 advantage with 5.5 remaining, fourth quarter. Here's Grant Hill replacing Juwan Howard. Gary Payton is now 5 of 5 from the line. He's had a solid game, 15 points in all.
Marv, as a basketball historian, you've been around a lot of teams. That's right, a historian.
Never heard that before.
Now think about this. All we've been hearing and talking about is a 70-win season for the Chicago Bulls. They've kind of tried to say that the reason it's possible is there's a lot of bad teams. Is there any team that you have ever seen that could have won 70 other than the Lakers who won 33 in a row?
Yeah, I think some of those Boston Celtic teams, and I think the Knicks of the early 70s would have also done the same. They would have had that type of... Even Robinson off the lead pass, and this is now a 9-point game with 4:50 remaining in the fourth. Will we see Michael Jordan step back on? Shaquille O'Neal. And he'll head to the line.
Well, as I was saying before, the only way you can get back in basketball games when you're down by a lot of points is great defensive plays or even good defensive plays. But a terrific strip there and a perfect alley-oop lob to David Robinson.
But, Coach, we have to finish the play.
That was the finish.
Well, Shaquille is now 2 of 7 at the foul line. The West in this fourth quarter has outscored the East 21-8. And they have made their way back into it. Shaquille hits 1 of 2 from the line. And it is now 111-101, the East by 10.
George Karl telling me yesterday that if the game got close to the fourth quarter, he would consider not only double teaming Shaq, but fouling him and making him go to the free throw line.
Richmond gets it out to Kemp. Kemp coming up short. Not a good shot, even for an all-star game. Hill's pass broken up. There's Payton leading Richmond. Hardaway back. Richmond going to the left hand to bring it with an 8. 4:05 remaining in the fourth.
Matty's itchy over here. He really thinks that this thing is about to exchange, and we might even go into OT, but Phil Jackson is awfully calm over there and thinks that his team's got this thing under control.
Hardaway for 3.
That's why his team has things under control. When you got Hardaway out on the floor coming down the stretch of fourth quarters, he rarely fails.
11 points, 7 assists for Penny Hardaway. 3.5 remaining, fourth quarter. Hill able to beat Payton to the ball. Hardaway again from downtown.
That's the bad part about comebacks. Everything has to go perfect, and if it doesn't, you look back up there. Now it's a 14-point game. Matt just left.
And Payton able to hit on the drive, but Penny Hardaway with the consecutive three-point shots just as the West was making its move. It is now the East 117 and the West 105. Just under 3 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. They double up on Mourning. The foul is called.
Well, I think we've seen 3 terrific performances on the East. Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, and this man on the last 2 3-pointers to put the daggers into the hearts of the Western squad as Penny Hardaway sensing the moment and taking advantage of it.
And this is Hardaway from deep in the corner, able to knock it down. It is now the East up by 12.
Whether you're dominating the playground, the last one to leave the gym, or you're big time like Mike Bibby, the Better Basketball videos will explode your game.
Even I've learned some things, working with Better Basketball. It's just unbelievable.
I've seen so many different videos over the years. You will not find finer tapes than what Better Basketball is offering.
Learn more about all 7 DVDs from BetterBasketball.com. If you buy 6, the 7th is free. Order now at BetterBasketball.com.
Just practice.
Introducing Steve Nash's MVP Basketball, the complete instructional DVD program that teaches you the fundamentals of basketball.
And Steve Nash knows the fundamentals of basketball.
Call or go online now to order Steve Nash's MVP Basketball program for the low introductory price of only $29.95. Act now and you'll receive a second DVD, Steve's Team Play and Practice Organization, perfect for the parent coach, and it's absolutely free. But it's not available in stores, so you must act now.
It's been a terrific weekend here in the San Antonio area.
And,
the Western Conference trying to steal one from the Eastern Conference. East has dominated the second half. Phil Jackson would like to keep it that way.
Stepped in for hope. I just saw him come with that. No, he wants Payne to be MVP. Yeah, that's better.
Jackson has decided to keep Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen on the bench. He's been using Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill. And Hardaway has answered the call. 5 of 6 from the field. 14 points for the man they call Penny.
And I want you to be it. Huh? And I want you to be it.
Well, there's always speculation about this point of the game as to who will be the All-Star Game MVP. You can see some great names in recent years who have taken the trophy. Among the candidates here tonight, Shaquille O'Neal with 21 points, 11 coming in the third quarter where the East was able to turn it around. Michael Jordan, 20 points, 8 of 11 from the field. And Penny Hardaway has come on strong, 14 points, 7 assists, and hit the 2 big ones from downtown for the West. Gary Payton has had a strong game with 18 points. Jason Kidd with 8 assists. Here's Hardaway for 3. And rebounded by Robinson. 2.5 to go in the fourth quarter. It is a 12-point lead for the East. Richmond. Able to slam it down. David Robinson with 16 points. It is now the East by 10. Who do you guys like?
I'm going to take the guy that's been getting everybody the ball in Hardaway. He broke the spirit early with his distributing of the ball and then made some big shots at the end. He's only missed 2 shots in the ball game.
Nice move by Juwan Howard to extend to the 119-107 lead. And the foul is called.
A missed shot and then an explosive effort by David Robinson. And the West, I can't believe it, but too little, too late.
Foul committed by Robinson, putting Kemp at the line for the first time. Nice stat line for the Admiral.
Now he wanted to have a big game. I'm going to go with Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq grew up his formative years here in San Antonio, played at Cole High School, won the Texas State Championship his senior year, has not had the best moments as a pro here in San Antonio. It would be a nice honor for Shaq to win his first All-Star MVP right here in one of his hometowns.
Hill not able to hit. Here is Shaquille trying to tee it up, and a foul. Matt, as you know, it is so difficult and annoying to agree with you, but
this could be a first.
I think it will be.
I don't believe you're not going to take Michael Jordan.
No. Jason Kidd with the foul. Michael had a splendid game, but I don't think he's been on the floor enough, and has sat out throughout this fourth quarter.
But his presence was clearly felt in the way that the Eastern Conference All-Stars came out and started the game. They just looked like a much more confident team. Basically, it was the same Eastern Stars as a year ago. They got drilled by 27. Charles Barkley told Adam Storm earlier this evening that he felt that the East wanted to make up for that, and he said that Michael Jordan told him so on about the 15th hole the other day.
Here's Richmond for 3. He's been off. The tip. Couple of tips missed, and then it is put home.
David Robinson, who doesn't have the reputation of doing a lot of board work, particularly in the offensive end, has done it today. That's where he got most of his points on tips, and that was 3 efforts by him.
Robinson with 18 points. Hill. And last touch by Howard of the East. The West coming into tonight had won 3 of the last 4 All-Star meetings. The East in the overall series has won 28. The West has won 17. Open shot for Shawn Elliott from downtown. So the East with a 121-113 lead with a minute 4 remaining in this fourth quarter.
See Scottie Pippen look over to Phil Jackson to ask if he wanted a timeout. Phil ignored it.
And the foul is called as Elliott is called for the hole.
Well, I think that Phil's done all of the coaching that he wanted to do. Once they popped the game open to a 20-point lead, he basically has had that professor look on his face. And
we are in the penalties?
I think it's more of a Zen-like.
I'll just tell you what time I said it, we had. I'll give you an hour. I messed up.
Hard scoreboard. So Hardaway at the line. Phil Jackson coached the East squad in 1992, lost to the West. Looking for his first All-Star coaching victory. George Karl in his second All-Star experience coached the West in 94, which was a losing effort for the West. Just under 1 minute remaining in this fourth quarter. Elliott trying to go to the crossover and lost it. Hill delivering to. And the foul!
Even Shaq, look. Even Shaq talking to the crowd. He knew that. Look at the East bench. The East bench is up there. Acknowledging a vicious tomahawk dunk. Oh, what kind of poster is that going to be?
And you hear the reaction from the crowd. Shaquille, although, as you mentioned, it is one of his hometowns, has not been a popular figure here in San Antonio. Elliott hitting the 3, and in particular, in that instance, he did it in the face of David Robinson of the Spurs. And they have a little rivalry going that at times has been on the testy side.
Oh, it has been, and David has basically had the better of it, and they're going to meet again. And he's going to remember that Miller moment.
Yes. Oh, Steve programming now.
Well, it's not going to be during this regular season. If they're going to meet, it'll be this year. It'll be in the NBA Finals in June. And, you know, Shaquille has not had particularly sterling all-star experiences in his first 3 years anyway. That first year, I remember he was upset with Pat Riley for not giving him what Shaq thought was enough minutes. The next year, George Karl, he felt ordered double teaming. Of course, George did not. And last year, the sound beating by the West.
Kemp not able to hit. 25 seconds remaining as Hardaway gets it back. Boards for Howard. They were planning that one. Here's Elliott. And the East leads 127-118. 15 seconds left.
You think Shaq will shoot the 3 now? He's hanging out beyond the line.
Yes, he is. I don't know if Hill has a feel for it as he gives it up for Hardaway. Final seconds. We will stay with you for the announcement of the most valuable player of this 46th All-Star game. So the East has defeated the West 129 to 118 to stop the recent success string of the West, which had won 3 of the last 4. We'll be back with the MVP winner in a moment.
There she goes, one that got away. You see the way she was looking at me? You're not going to believe this one. Let me take you back to what happened.
Why do I care? I mean, he's a loser.
I can't believe I won. I can't believe it. I didn't mean to spill coffee. It was hot. How could I blow that?
It's never enough.
Yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
I'm sorry. I'm not mad at you.
Thank you. I'm starving. You want to go, get some Chinese or something like that?
When you search for a car at Autotrader.com, we send more cars your way than anyone. A lot more cars. So you can narrow it down by model, the color, even the price. When you search from the largest selection,
That's the one.
you get the car you want at the price you want. Autotrader.com, the ultimate automotive marketplace.
Back in San Antonio, the East with the victory over the West. Now for the announcement of the winner of the Most Valuable Player Award. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad.
It is now time to make the presentation to this year's NBA All-Star MVP. And to make that presentation, the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern.
Thank you, San Antonio, for being such gracious hosts and hostesses. And thank you, Michael Jordan, for winning your second MVP, 20 points, 4 rebounds. It's nice to have you back. Congratulations.
Yeah. All right, Michael, this time, it seems to me you really enjoyed yourself this time.
I had a good time, man. Quite naturally, it's unexpected. I had a good time. I think everybody had a good time. Shaq played extremely well. I thought he was the MVP. I think he could have easily been. David Robinson, I think you were a great host. I think this weekend turned out to be a great weekend, and I had a good time.
All right, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Marv.
Well, a humble statement for Michael Jordan. Guys, as I said all along, I felt
20 points for Michael Jordan. He wins his second All-Star MVP as a member of the Eastern Conference. Jordan took an MVP award back in the 1988 season when the East defeated the West 138 to 133. That was in Chicago. And Jordan wins his second MVP award among the active players. Only Karl Malone and Magic Johnson have won it more than once. There were some former MVPs that could have won their second. David Robinson still looking for his first. Charles Barkley won it back in '91. John Stockton in '93. Scottie Pippen in '94. Mitch Richmond in '95. David Robinson really wanted to win this game for the hometown fans. He and Shawn Elliott, the representatives of the San Antonio Spurs, but it was not to be. Michael Jordan, who didn't play the fourth quarter, changed this game around. It was very close at the end of the first half. But in the third quarter, the East took control. East outscored the West 41 to 22 in that third quarter of action to go up by 22 points, and they win it 129 to 118.
How do you feel tonight? Yeah, look. I mean, you looked good. You looked like you were working.
You were fooled. Every time I dunk.
Drop 30, 40. It fooled you.
Because you believe that was about me.
While I believe.
Takes 5, baby.
But you're not a fool.
Are you?
There are no free rides on the road to victory.
have what it takes to pay the toll? Gatorade. Is it in you?
And we welcome you to the EuroLeague Basketball Game of the Week from Tel Aviv, Israel. This is the Nokia Arena, site of this match between Panathinaikos 11-2 and Maccabi Elite 7-6. Rick Kamla, Tim Capstra on the call for NBA TV. And Tim, first meeting in Athens. Panathinaikos got the W, 90-88. Maccabi looking for revenge today.
How about that opening game, though, when Yasitis had that breakaway? I thought he was going to be able to score it before the buzzer, but unable to do it. These two teams, Rick, have such an amazing history. Even in this, even since the new millennium, since 2000, they have played in EuroLeague Final Fours and Continental Championships and just really have a really strong rivalry going.
Ramunas Shishkauskas, first basket of the game, and we are underway. Panathinaikos won the first.
They discovered paradise. They carved out a new homeland here with a sense of pride that still lingers. The emerald in this land of jewels is Seattle, where they've always prided themselves on individualism. And what better place to bring together the greatest basketball players in the world? Some have been pioneers, but they all are all-stars. The Emerald City is gleaming for the 37th annual NBA All-Star Game.
All right, this is the last go-around in one of these. It's the last go-around, as promised. And I'm just happy to be here, taking it all in. Happy to have my family and friends with me here. Happy to be here with you.
Thank you. I want to know, Larry Bird says he wants to make you look good in the game if he can in this one. He wants you to go out in a blaze of glory.
Well, he has the ability to do that, but the best I can do is just go out and do my best, be representative of myself, my family, and my club, and be in the right spot at the right time. That'll help, right?
You've been emotional about all of the honors that have been heaped upon you and all the sentimental things that have happened.
No question about it. I keep thinking back to what the Denver Nuggets did, and I had tears in my eyes then, and I almost had tears last night. It could have been very easy to cry. Before the weekend's over, I probably will.
All right, Julius, thanks very much. There is perhaps no greater spectacle in sports than the gathering of the world's best basketball players for the NBA All-Star Game. The scene is the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington, and this will be the second largest crowd in NBA All-Star history. This is the 37th annual NBA All-Star Game, and it seems to get bigger and bigger each year. And this capacity crowd, as Seattle hosts for the second time, will see the 24 greatest players. Many other great players were not selected, but that's how tough it is. And the crowd is gathered in the Kingdome to see the very best perform with the individual and team aspects as we will see today. Hello again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton, along with my partner, Tom Heinsohn. Another All-Star Game and another jewel in an NBA season. And Tom, I've got to think that the tension has to be there. We felt it in the locker rooms before the game because these players are playing before their peers. They're right with them. They want to play as team players. They want to show what they can do. And it means different things to different people, doesn't it?
All kinds of thoughts go through your mind when you're going into an All-Star game, like Tom Chambers from the Seattle Supersonics. He was selected as a replacement for Ralph Sampson. He's going to play in front of his hometown crowd. He certainly wants to do well. Dr. J, his last game, he wants to make it memorable. There's guys like Mark Aguirre from the Dallas Mavericks, who's only made it once before, wants to prove that he's always been an all-star. And of course, Hakeem Olajuwon and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The debate rages as who will be the dominant center in the league this year.
And the stories go on. And right now, it's time to meet the players who will compete in this 37th annual All-Star Game. And right now, let's go to the public address announcer, Jimmy Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 1987 Western Conference All-Stars. Playing in a record 16th NBA All-Star Game, one of the greatest players of all time, 7'2" center of the Los Angeles Lakers, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Making his first All-Star appearance, he's helped make the Golden State Warriors playoff contenders. 7'1" center, Joe Barry Carroll. Playing in his 6th NBA All-Star game, one of the top scorers in the league, from the Phoenix Suns, 6'6" guard, Walter Davis. Making his All-Star game debut, another member of the Golden State Warriors, 6'3" guard, Eric Sleepy Floyd. In his 6th All-Star game, one of the most consistent players in the league, 6'7" forward from the Denver Nuggets, Alex English. Appearing in his 3rd All-Star game, he's one of the best shooting guards in the NBA today. From the Dallas Mavericks, 6'6", Rolando Blackman. Making his 2nd All-Star appearance, the high-scoring forward of the Dallas Mavericks, 6'6", Mark Aguirre. Now the starting lineup for the Western Conference. Selected to start by the fans, but unable to be here today due to injury, the Houston Rockets' Ralph Sampson. Starting in his place and making his first All-Star appearance, the versatile forward from the hometown Seattle Supersonics, Tom Chambers. Playing in his 2nd NBA All-Star game from the Los Angeles Lakers, 6'9" forward, James Worthy. Starting at center, he and Sampson comprise the Twin Towers.